We're going to have a look at factorising now. And basically there are a few stages of factorising that you need to know about. The first one is common numbers. So for example, if you have 4x plus 8, you can divide both of those numbers by 4. So dividing by 4, and you put it outside the bracket. 4 divided by 4 is 1, or just x. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Then you've got common letters. And if you look at these, you've got an a squared and an a. You can take an a out of each. If I take an a out of a squared, I'm left with an a. If I take an a out of that, I'm left with nothing. But make sure you put the 1 there. Because remember, it's a 1a. So you must leave that 1 in there. Difference of two squares. If you've got two squared numbers subtracting from each other, they break up into x minus 5 and x plus 5, because 25 is 5 squared. Grouping. Basically use this if you have 4 terms. Now if you look at the first 2 terms, I can pull out a b, so it's y plus z. The next 2 terms, I can pull out an a, y plus z. Now if you look at that term and that term, I can pull a y plus z out of each. So y plus z comes out, and I'm left with a b plus a. Squeezed in there. So that's supposed to read y plus z bracket b plus a. The next type we have are easy quadratics. Those are the ones which just starts off x squared. So you break them into 2 brackets, an x and an x. You say to yourself, what multiplies to give 15 and adds to give 8? Well, that's a 5 and a 3. And the last one are the harder quadratics. 3a squared breaks up into a 3a and an a. Then you say to yourself, what multiplies to give 10? You've got a 10 and a 1, or you have a 5 and a 2. And you basically want to position those numbers in the outsides so you get 17 in the middle. Now if I put a 5 here and a 2 there, I get 15a plus 2a, which gives me 17a. Now, what I'm going to look at here are lots of examples combining all those different rules. First one is common letter, so it's 6 minus x. Down here, you've got the common number of 2 and a common letter of q. So dividing by 2 and taking q out. Dividing by 2 and taking q out. Question 3, I can divide all of those by 2. I'm checking for common numbers, or common letters. There's an x in common across that. So 6 divided by 2, take the x out. 2 divided by 2 and take the x out. Minus 4 divided by 2 and take the x out. Down here, you can divide by 2 again. And you can take an x out of each term. And you can also take a y out of each term. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. Take an x out, take a y out, leaves you with a y. Plus 4 divided by 2. X, y have gone out. Minus 2 divided by 2. X and a y out, leaves you with a y. Now this one here, when there's 4 terms like that and they're sort of similar looking, I always think of the grouping. Now, if I rearrange that somewhat, so if I had cd squared plus c minus 1 minus d squared. First 2 terms, I can take a c out. Last 2 terms, if I take a minus 1 out, leaves me 1 plus d squared. My brackets now match. I can pull them out, so it's 1 plus d squared upon c minus 1. It's quite a difficult wee one in there. If we look at number 6, the first 2, it's 4 terms, so I'm thinking of grouping. Do the first 2, you can take a 3 and a g out. Take the 3 out of that, divide it by 3 gives you a 2, and take a g out. Take the 3 and the g out, leaves you with an h. Now I'm looking at the last 2 terms. I can take an n out, so plus n. Minus h plus 2g. My brackets match up, positive 2g, negative h. So 2g, negative h, leaves me with 3g plus n. Again, another tricky one in there. This one here, if I rearrange this a little bit and put the x's together, I could take something out. So x, y squared plus x minus 1 minus y squared. First 2 terms, take out your x. so it's y squared plus 1. Last two terms, take out your minus, 1 plus y squared. Those brackets match, so it's y squared plus 1 upon x minus 1. Now, on to easier ones now. Question 8. That's the difference of two squared numbers. I could write that as 9a squared minus 5 squared. So 9a minus 5, 9a plus 5. That's the difference of two squares in parts 9. So it's c minus 1 over d upon c plus 1 over d. Difference of two squares again, 36y squared minus 1. That's 6y minus 1, 6y add 1. Down here, difference of two squares, 6.1 minus 5.9, 6.1 add 5.9. And you can work that out. 6.1 minus 5.9 is 0.2. And that one there gives you 12. So 2 times 12 is 24, 1 decimal place, 2.4. Now on to our quadratics. Easy quadratics. What multiplies to give x squared is an x and an x. What multiplies to give minus 20? You've got minus 20 and 1, or you've got a 4 and a minus 5, or you've got a 10 and a 2. I want it to be a minus 1 in the middle. So if I go for minus 5 and a positive 4, that gets me a minus 1 if I add them. This one here, m and m, what multiplies to give 35 is 35 and a 1, or a 5 and a 7. Now it's a minus 35, so one of the signs has to be negative and the other has to be positive. I want a positive 2 in the middle. So it's going to be positive 7 and a negative 5. Because a positive 7 and a negative 5. Because they will add to give you an ordinary 2. Number 14. 2p squared. It's a harder quadratic. It splits up into a 2p and a p. 5 is made up of a 5 and a 1. Because I've got a negative in here, they're both going to be negative numbers. They multiply to give a positive, so they both have to be the same sign. Because of the negative, they both have to be negatives. I want the outsides and the insides together to give me 11p. So I'm going to put minus 5 here and minus 1 there. So that gets me minus 10, take away 1 is minus 11. Number 15. Break that up. 3x and an x. 20 is a 20 and a 1, a 4 and a 5, a 10 or a 2, 10 and a 2. It's a minus 20, so it has to be has to be one minus sign in there. Now, I want the outsides and insides to give me minus 11. So if I have in here, if I have a 5 to give me 15 and then the 4, and if I go negative 15, add 4, I'll get negative 11. And the last one I have here of these, and these are tricky. 12x, it can be split up either 12x and an x, or it could be split up a 6x and a 2x, or it could be split up a 4x and a 3x. And what multiplies to give 4? It's a 4 and a 1, or a 2 and a 2. It's a negative 4, so at least one of the signs has to be negative. So I'm trying to look down these brackets to see what will give me a 13 in the middle. Now, if I choose the 4 here, that gets me a 16, and if I take away 1 in there, it gets me minus 3. So it's 16x minus 3x gives me a 13x. Actually, they should be y's, just noticing there. Now, over the page, we're going to have a look at some simplifying fractions. You need to factorise these first. So common number and take out a b. So that gives me a plus 2b over the bottom row. Common number and take out the a. So it's a plus 2b. Those cancel off, giving you 2b over 3a. The next one I'm going to look at here is k squared minus 4 over k squared plus 5k plus 6. Top factorises difference of two squares. Bottom factorises what multiplies to give 6 and adds to give 5. It's 3 and 2. Those two brackets cancel, giving you k minus 2 over k plus 3. Number 3. A squared plus ab minus ac minus bc all over 4ab minus 4bc. So the top's got 4 terms, so I'm thinking grouping. If I look at the first 2 terms, I can pull out an A. If I look at the next 2 terms, I can pull out a minus and a C, giving me A plus B, all over. In the bottom, I can pull out a 4 and a B, leaving me with an A minus C. The top, haven't finished factorising there. Pull out your A plus B. That leaves you A minus C, all over 4B, A minus C. They cancel off, giving you an answer of A plus B over 4B. Do another one like that, number 4. 12a squared minus 3 all over 6a squared minus a minus 1. Factorising the top line, you can pull out a 3. 4a squared minus 1. We'll just work with the top line here. That's the difference of 2 squared numbers, 2a minus 1, 2a plus 1. The bottom. Now, 6a squared can be factorised as a 3a and a 2a, or a 6 and a 1. 1 made up of a 1 and a 1. Because it's a minus 1, one of these numbers has a positive and one negative. I want them to give me a minus a in the middle. So if I go for minus 3a plus 2a, it will give me my minus a. So it's 3a plus 1, 2a minus 1. Those two brackets cancel off, giving you an answer of 3, 2a add 1 over 3a add 1. Very difficult example there. And we'll do another one of these. Number 5, we'll have 3x squared minus 27 over x squared minus 5x plus 6. Top line, take out your common number. That then is the difference of 2 squares. So x minus 3, x plus 3. The bottom is an easy quadratic, so it's just an x and an x. What multiplies to give 6 and adds to give minus 5. There's a positive 6, so they're both negatives. Minus 2 times minus 3 gives you positive 6. Minus 2 take away 3 gives you minus 5. And then those two cancel, giving you 3, x add 3 over x minus 2. And we'll do one more. Number 6, 5c squared minus 10c all over 10cd minus 30c. Factorise the top, take out a 5 and a c, leaving you with a c, take away 2. On the bottom, take out a 10 and a c, giving you a d minus a 3. The brackets don't cancel this time, but those c's do. And 5 over 10 cancels down to a half. So it's c over 2 over 2, d minus 3. Some hard examples there towards the end of that factorising chapter. Now basically if you go through the stages, common numbers, common letters, difference of 2 squares, check if you've got 4 terms that can be grouped, then easy quadratics and hard quadratics.